High above the emerald canopy, something moves. Not a bird, not a bat, but a snake. It slips from the branch, uncoiling like a ribbon of living shadow, and then it leaps. The jungle holds its breath. Instead of plummeting to the ground, the serpent spreads its body wide, twists in midair, and begins to glide, not falling, not helpless, but steering, as if the sky itself has become its river. This is not a myth, not a trick of the eye. It is a marvel of evolution, an animal so improbable, so otherworldly, it seems born from legend. The flying snake. In the rainforests of Southeast Asia, where the air hums with life and every shadow hides a story, there exists a creature that has mastered an art no reptile should know, the art of flight. But how can a snake, with no wings, no feathers, no limbs, claim the sky as its own? To answer this, we must enter a world of tangled forests, strange physics, and a secret that challenges what we think life on Earth can do. The tale of the flying snake begins in the dense jungle stretching from India to the Philippines. Here, ancient rainforests cradle a staggering variety of life. The air is heavy with heat and the call of cicadas. The canopy towers like a living fortress, layer upon layer of leaves, branches, and vines. This is the realm of Chrysopelia, a genus of snakes so perfectly adapted to the forest that their very survival depends on a single breathtaking skill: gliding. There are 5 known species, from the golden tree snake, shimmering with emerald and yellow scales, to the more secretive banded species. Each thrives high above the ground in the leafy highways of the treetops. Down below waits danger. The jungle floor is alive with predators, monitor lizards, wild cats, even other snakes. But high in the canopy, the flying snake has found both sanctuary and opportunity. Here prey is abundant. Lizards basking in sunlight, frogs clinging to branches, small birds resting unaware. But in this vertical world, moving from one tree to another is a challenge, unless you can fly. For millions of years, these snakes have perfected a way of life that seems impossible. They leap from dizzying heights, not to escape death, but to hunt, to travel, to live. Their forest is not just a home, it is a launch pad. At first glance, a flying snake looks like any other slender tree dweller. A body rarely thicker than a finger, muscles rippling under scales that glint like living jewels, eyes sharp and unblinking, forever searching for the next perch. But beneath that elegant exterior lies one of evolution's strangest designs. When the snake prepares to fly, it does something extraordinary. It flattens its body, expanding its ribs outward until its cross-section resembles a strange concave wing, a living parachute carved from bone and muscle. The body does not simply collapse, it transforms. The snake becomes a ribbon of airfoil, capable of catching and shaping the wind. From head to tail, every movement is calculated. The wide body reduces drag. The scales grip the air. The serpent, once bound to branches, now wears the physics of flight. But there is still a question. Wings lift birds. Membranes carry bats. Even insects possess delicate blades of chitin. A snake has none of these. So how does it stay aloft? The answer lies not only in its shape, but in its motion. The leap begins with silence. A snake launches itself from a branch head first into the void. Gravity should claim it instantly, but instead, it begins to dance. In midair, the snake undulates side to side, creating waves that ripple the length of its body. These movements aren't random. They generate lift, tiny forces of upward air pressure that allow the reptile to slow its descent. It does not fall like a stone. It glides like a ribbon of living silk. The snake can travel astonishing distances, sometimes over 100 feet, from tree to tree. It can shift direction, bank left or right, even adjust altitude with subtle changes in motion. Researchers discovered that the body, when flattened, doubles its surface area. Air rushes beneath this living wing, creating a cushion. And when combined with serpentine movement, the glide becomes stable, predictable, controlled. Incredibly, the snake manages this without arms, without wings, without any appendage at all. It is a masterclass in adaptation, proof that nature doesn't need to follow our rules of aerodynamics to conquer the skies. To the untrained eye, it looks almost supernatural. A serpent, suspended between earth and heaven, defying gravity with nothing but its body. What once seemed myth is revealed as physics. Every adaptation has a purpose. For the flying snake, gliding is more than spectacle. It is survival. When danger strikes, the trees offer no safe roads. A predator creeping closer can trap a snake in seconds, but with a single leap, the flying snake escapes. From one branch, it soars to the next, a living arrow slipping through the air. This power also makes it a hunter like no other. Imagine a lizard sunning itself, secure on a branch. From the shadows above, a snake drops, not downwards but sideways, gliding silently until it lands within striking distance. The victim has no time to react. The jungle claims another life. Their prey includes lizards, frogs, small mammals, even birds. But flying snakes are not large, usually no longer than 4 feet, slender as rope. They are not a threat to humans. To us, they are a marvel, not a menace. Yet within their world, they are efficient hunters and elusive survivors. Every glide is a choice: to feed, to flee, to live. The canopy is a battlefield of silence, and in this battle, the snake has found its wings. Long before science offered explanations, there were stories. For villagers living on the forest edge, the sight of a snake leaping from the sky must have seemed like a vision. How could such a creature exist? In some traditions, flying snakes were seen as omens, messengers between the earth and the heavens. In others, they were symbols of danger, warnings to respect the untamed forest. Ancient travelers wrote of serpents in the air. Some accounts from early explorers in Asia and India speak of winged snakes that moved between trees. For centuries, such claims were dismissed as fantasy. But myths often carry fragments of truth. Today, we know these creatures were real, not dragons, not winged monsters, but a very earthly marvel hidden in the green shadows of the jungle. The myth of the flying serpent is no longer just legend. It is the story of Chrysopelia, a story that shows how reality can be stranger than myth itself. It wasn't until the modern era that scientists began to study these snakes with precision. Researchers set up high-speed cameras, launching snakes from platforms to analyze their movement frame by frame. What they found astonished them. The snake's glide is not a simple fall. It is a finely tuned aerodynamic system. By flattening its ribs, the snake transforms into a shape that scientists describe as a flying cylinder. Its body cross-section generates lift at rates higher than expected for its size. More remarkable still is its control. By twisting in waves, the snake shifts its center of mass, allowing it to steer. It can even make mid-air corrections, aiming for a branch with uncanny accuracy. Computer simulations have confirmed what the forest has known all along. The flying snake is an evolutionary pioneer, one of the few vertebrates to achieve gliding without wings. In recent years, scientists have looked to this serpent for inspiration in robotics. Designs for search and rescue drones, flexible machines, even aerospace engineering have borrowed ideas from the physics of a flying snake. A creature once dismissed as a myth now inspires the technology of tomorrow.